Seeing with a biblical worldview is like putting on glasses. It's not that you can't see anything without your glasses, but when you put those glasses on, you're able to see clearly. You're able to see exactly what's actually there. And in fact, you're seeing how God intended you to see. We don't mean that it's something that we just add on to an already existing subject. It's not something that's sprinkled in around where we throw some verses here and there to make it kind of correlate if we can. The Bible teaches us in Colossians 1:16 and 17 that Christ created all things. And not only did he create all things, but all things were created for him and to him. And not only that, but he holds all things together by his own power. It is foundational not just to how we learn, but what we learn. And that's because we're not living in a neutral world. We're living in God's world, and he's already told us how we ought to see it.
I need a strong biblical worldview to anchor me because the scriptures provide truth. And in a day and age where it's like there is no truth, I know there is. And the scriptures provide that and anchor me in my belief system and my values. And when we talk about it from an academic perspective, I know that the course I'm taking has been designed through a biblical lens. At SCOPE, we start with biblical worldview. Sometimes I'm asked, how do you do that? Long before the students take the course, our content developers have already laid the framework with a biblical worldview woven throughout the content. That helps the student when he or she is working through a lesson or an activity or an assessment. It helps them frame it in their own minds, how to think about a problem, how to solve it.
One of the biggest ways that SCOPE applies learning to life is the actual learners, the students. They're going through life right now, so the experiences that they bring is what helps to make it practical. And the facilitators bring that out in those learning experiences. So they connect the experiences that those students, those learners are currently going through to the issue that's at hand. The culture around us wants to privatize our faith. It's okay if you believe those things, but it shouldn't affect the way that you carry out your life in the workplace or in the community. Christ says, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." Our faith is not just a private faith, it is a public faith. It is a confessional faith. We confess things, and as a result of that, we live our lives in a particular kind of way.
Adult learners today have many options for their continuing education, whether it be an academic program or professional development offering. What makes SCOPE different is we start with a biblical worldview. It is our foundation. We frame from a biblical worldview, and then ultimately it ends with you, the learner, being equipped to whatever God has called you to in your life, where you're applying learning to life.